This is where we are going to start talking all about the content. This is where the meat of this program starts in, how to attract the clients, right? That is why you joined this program. You want to attract clients through your content, through your messaging, through your appointment setting, through your sales, all those things, right? So this is where we are starting out after creating your brand assets, after creating your solid business foundations assets, all those things, setting up your organic sales funnel, finding the ideal clients where they are inside the Facebook groups, on the Instagrams, on the hashtags, and all those stuff. After this all stuff, we are now jumping into the content thing, and let's start with an introduction lesson of what actually content is. Let's understand how the content works in the client attraction process. So this lesson is dedicated to that. So let's see all about creating the great content for attracting your ideal clients. Okay. So what is covered in this lesson is, first, we are going to see what actually the content is, why the client attraction content is different from the other types of content that you see on Instagram or Facebook or any other social media platforms. Okay. What are the 3 reasons that you need to create the great content while attracting your ideal clients? We are going to see some pitfalls that you can avoid while creating your content online. And there are 3 content modes. You might be familiar with that. These are basic things, but yet we are going to cover it because we are using it. So let's see what things are included in these 4 things that we are going to cover in these lessons. Okay. Now, reading your posts is often one of the first ways your ideal clients will engage with you on your social media profile, on the Facebook groups. Okay, even if they don't like it or comment on it, right? So reading your posts, reading your content is often the first way your ideal client will engage with you, even if they don't like or comment on your posts. And this is why posting quality content is a form of passive conversations. And I get that content is one of those big, scary words that sends many entrepreneurs running because it seems too overwhelming. Many entrepreneurs think it's too overwhelming. It's full of frustration. It takes too much time. It's too time consuming, right? I get it. You might feel nervous when it comes to putting yourself out there. But in this program, I'm going to break it down into the simplest terms possible and talk about what content is, what it will do for you, and how to create content quickly and effortlessly. Okay. So what is content? Now, content is really simple. It's anything that educates, inspires, and entertains. That's a pretty broad definition intentionally, because content can take many forms, right? This is the fantastic thing about content, because it gives you the freedom to do what works best for you, right? Content gives you the freedom to do what works for you, what is the best for you. So in this lesson, when we are talking about how content fits into your client attraction process, the priority is to educate, inspire, and entertain, right? The priority is to educate, the second is to inspire, and the third is to entertain. Your content should be entertaining anyway, but its purpose is not to entertain. We will talk about it later on, okay? So you'll most likely spend the most of your time focusing on the content that educates, but you will probably also create the content that inspires as well, okay? Now, content shows up at every stage of your client attraction process, which means it includes your social media posts, emails, blog articles, videos, reels, shorts, long-form videos on YouTube, podcast episodes. Any sort of communication with your ideal client is a content. Even when your strategy session, sales calls, DMs, appointment setting, believe it or not, it is a content. And when you think of all your communication in terms of content, it's much easier to remember that what you need to do is educate, inspire, and entertain. That's what you need to do. So it's pretty much clear what content is and how content works in the client attraction process. Okay. So there are 4 reasons to create content. Let's see them. Number 1 is starting the conversations with your ideal clients. Okay. So if you starting a conversation with your ideal client, this is the first step of having a conversation, talking to your ideal client. Many people miss this. They think that sending them a DM is the first step to start the conversations. It's wrong. Your content is the first step of conversations. That's why I say that content is a communication. Communication is a content, right? So if you start off a conversations with your ideal clients by pitching them your offer, that's not going to go very well, right? You can't directly pitch them an offer. So in a sense, pitching your offer to a stranger is a lot like, proposing marriage on the first date. Your prospects need to know you before they'll even consider working with you. That's where your content comes into role. You have to deliver value, build connection, build those relationships with them before you even pitch your offer to them, right? Reason number 2, content builds authority and trust, right? Content builds authority and trust with your ideal clients, which is an absolute key. When you put out quality, relevant content to your network, you position yourself as an expert and as an authority in your space, right? You also begin to build trust, build relationship with your ideal clients, which is so much important in the client attraction process. But because at last, people are not going to buy from you if they don't trust you. Remember this. They are not going to buy from you if they don't trust you, right? Reason number 3, everyone knows this, content generate leads. When you follow the great and converting content frameworks and accompany your content with a compelling call to actions, your ideal clients will raise their hands and say that I need your help. That's what we are going to cover in the next lesson, right? Reason number 4 is content is communication. As I already said about this, content is a communication. As I said, content shows up at every stage of your client attraction process, which means it includes your social media posts, blog articles, emails, newsletters, podcast episodes, reels, videos. Any sort of communication with your ideal client is a content. Your DMs, sales calls, that are also content, believe it or not. Okay, so when you think of all your communication that is going on the social media platforms on internet is a term of content, then it's much more easier for you to remember that what you need to do is educate, entertain, and inspire them. That's all about content, right? So there are a few pitfalls that you can avoid here. Number 1 is believing that you're going to be great at it from the get-go. Now, what does this mean? Now, creating quality content that speaks directly to your ideal clients is like a muscle. You have to think of it like a muscle. You have to exercise it regularly, okay? Because the first piece of content you create isn't going to be earth-shattering. It isn't going to be brilliant. And that's totally okay. It's totally fine. Create mediocre content today. The next day, create slightly better mediocre content, and so on. This is how you practice creating content, right? And we are going to make it much more effortless by giving you the pre-written, done for you templates and the frameworks. So you know how to create a content step by step of what things to include in your content that will help you to attract your ideal clients, right? Second one is giving up. Now you might say that, okay, I have posted content for about a week now. Nothing has happened. I've not attracted any clients. Nobody commented. Nobody liked my content. Nobody reached out to me. Therefore, this is not working, right? That's not going to cut it here. Creating or publishing a week's worth of content and then skipping the next week is not going to produce results, plain and simple thing. It all comes to consistency. Consistency is the key, even when you don't feel like doing it. Okay, so when creating content feels boring, frustrating, overwhelming, or it is not interesting, it means you are making progress because you are getting used to it. So keep going, right? Third is trying to make your content perfect. This is the most important thing where many of the coaches and entrepreneurs fail. If every piece of content you create has to be a perfect work of art, then you're not going to get anywhere. Trust me. Write your piece of content, read it once to ensure that it makes sense and remove any grammatical errors and just post it. That's it. Because consistent, imperfect actions beats inconsistent, perfect actions. Don't try to be perfect. You will get better. You will get better when you practice more. You will get better when you put out your content on consistent basis for 2 months, 3 months, right? Just publish before you feel ready to put it out into the world. That's the only way you master the content, right? Moving on, let's see the last part, which is the content modes. Now, what is the content modes? Everybody is familiar with this. This is the basic thing. Now, there are 3 content modes: text, image, and audio, video, that we are going to talk about here. Okay, so I briefly mentioned that content can comes in many forms. Okay, so there are three general modes of content: text, image, and audio video. Now, most people tend to favor one mode over another. Some will prefer just text, some will prefer just image, some will prefer just text on Facebook, blog articles, emails, right? Some will prefer reels and YouTube videos. Okay, some will prefer carousels, infographics, and image things on Instagram, right? And it's fine to pick the one that is most comfortable for you. Now, I'm not saying that if you want to attract clients, you have to stick to the text-based content only, or you have to stick to the reels only. You have to stick to the YouTube videos only. Okay, it is totally fine to pick the one that is most comfortable way for you, which is most you are used to it. It is easier for you to create that content. Okay, so you have to choose the mode that your ideal clients prefer to consume. That is the most important thing. You want to make sure that the more you produce most of your content, whether it is text, image, video, or audio, it is also the mode that your ideal clients prefers to consume. How do you find that out? You have to experiment. You have to observe. Okay. So personally, the modality I am most comfortable working with is the text format. Okay. The content that communicates in a meaningful way through my writing, and the content that communicates its meanings, its value through writing, right? That is what I am comfortable with. Okay. But getting on camera or having my voice recorded, okay, that is less terrifying than it used to be for me. But I still, those are my second priority. Okay. I use videos and images, but those are my second priority. I use them in my live videos. I am recording my course videos. That is my video format. I will start recording YouTube videos as well, but text format is my best companion, because that is where I am expert at and I'll get more clients over there. Okay. But I also knew that I had to do at least stick my toes in it, because when I experimented, I found that my ideal clients is also consuming the video content. Okay, they are likely to watch a short video than rather than reading a long form post or long form text email, right? So I'm getting used to the videos and all those things, right? Next thing, we are going to see what is basically included in this all those modes. The first content modality is the text, which is blog articles, social media posts, emails, PDF resources, and even short ebooks, worksheets, and templates. Okay, this is all text format. But there is a truth. I'm sorry to inform you that while you can use as many images, audios, and videos as you want, but you'll never be successful without creating some written content. And that's for sure. You're not going to be able to avoid writing social media posts, but don't worry, we are going to make it as easy, as comfortable, and painless as possible, right? Now, second modality is the images. Now, to use image as a content, you must have some basic understanding of design principles, even if it's just the ability to discern whether something looks good or bad, it is beneficial. Okay, but we are not just talking about the cute little posts that have an inspiring quote front and center, like the quote thing. Okay, the selfie you took on the last weekend, on the last month, that is perfect. Just add a text caption to it and post it. Memes are a great example of image-based content. Memes can be both educational and entertaining, right? And when they are super specific and speak directly to your ideal client, they can be an effective addition to your social media profile as well. Okay. Then comes infographics. These are the option for image-based content. Now, there are the infographics are a straightforward images that show someone how to do something or explain a concept, break down a complex concept, share statistics, or otherwise communicate some information, right? Like I mentioned before, you can also create quote blocks. Okay, so quote blocks, like I mentioned before, you can create a quote blocks, an image that features a quote, some tips and tricks, or even a testimonial. Okay, we are going to talk about it, how to create that on Facebook. Okay, and a carousel. Now, carousels are a mashup of text and images based content, and it can be a great way of making text stand out in Facebook also and an Instagram feed also. Mostly on Instagram, carousels are mostly preferable in Instagram and LinkedIn maybe. Yeah, but Facebook, you can post a single image or a quote kind of a thing, which is a combination of a text and a image format, right? Then comes audio and video format. The third and the final type of content is audio and video, which can be ridiculously effective when done well. Now, as you know that there are two main forms of video that you can use as content, that is short form videos and long form videos. Okay, short form videos range from 30 seconds to 5 minutes, and it can be any combination for like educating, inspiring, and entertaining as well. Okay, and to be effective, these videos should be hyper focused on one specific topic and stay 100% on that topic. Okay, long form video is these videos range from 10 minutes to 60 minutes longer or more than that. Example of long form videos includes webinars, online workshops, interviews, podcasts, video training, YouTube videos. Okay, so when talking about video, one of the most common questions I hear is, should I go live or not? If you've never done a live video before, like Facebook or Instagram live, it may be a best way to upload some pre-recorded content videos first, just to ease you into the process, right? But you have to go live in front of your audience, in front of your prospects, in front of your clients if you are a coach. Okay, so once you get comfortable enough to go live, I definitely recommended going live. Okay, and more than likely you're going to have a primary content modality that will work with you, whether that's a text format or image format or audio format or video format. Okay, but for maximum visibility and maximum success, you need to dig your toes into all three. Okay, so for maximum visibility, you need to try all those three modalities: text, image, video, audio, right? Now comes the best part, what to post. Now, after all this knowledge about content, the question comes into your mind is what content to post, what to share online that will get new eyeballs, that will attract new clients. So the question in your mind is what to post. So for that, you first needed to understand, why are you posting? What is the goal of your content you create and put it into the world? Why are you posting? What is the goal of your content? Okay, what is the goal? Okay, so every piece of content you create and put out into the world has two goals. The first goal remains the same no matter what type of content you are creating, and that is to create a shift within your client. Now, this can be a mindset shift that is helping them shifting their thinking, right? Or a perspective shift, like helping them realize one specific thing. Okay, but your overall goal is to create that shift, right? That is what we are going to talk in the further lessons. But remember, your first goal of creating content in the client attraction process is to create a shift. You have to make your ideal clients think differently, because as you know that you are helping a client who is stuck in something. You are helping a client who is suffering from a problem, who is struggling with the challenges and all those things, right? So you have to create a shift. No matter how many solutions you give them, no matter how many strategies you give them, if they don't think that you are going to help them, you don't talk about the realistic things that will make them think differently, that will make them think that there is a solution, that this guy is going to help me, that shift you have to make first. So your number one goal is to create that shift within your ideal client, whether it is a mindset shift or a perspective shift, that we are going to talk about in the upcoming lessons as well. Okay. Now, the second goal of your content is to prompt your ideal clients to take a specific action in the light of a shift that you have created, right? This is known as your CTA, call to actions. And that can be to book a call with you, sign up for a webinar, opt in for a free resource, a lead magnet, or simply to comment below or DM you, simply to comment below with their thoughts or their answers to a question that you post. Right? This is a call to action. So these are your two content goals. The goal of your content first is to create a shift, whether it's a mindset shift or a perspective shift, and then prompt them to take a specific action using a call to action. So the call to action is important, but what dictates whether a prospective client will take action or not is not about the call to action itself. It's about whether they have experienced the shift that you are trying to create. Remember this. If you make a long form text post that creates a mindset or a perspective shift into your ideal clients, they'll be much more likely to act on that call to action, on that new information. This is why your call to action must be aligned with your post, must be aligned with the shift that you have created inside your post. Okay. And similarly, if you make a long form text post that fails to create a mindset or perspective shift in your ideal client, they will be much less likely to take any action because they don't have any reason to act on that call to action, right? So that magical shift, a mindset or a perspective, that magical shift is the lifeblood of your content. Remember this. Okay, so there is a fairly simple way for achieving it. We have already discussed about it in the magnetic messaging lesson. I'll just repeat it again. This is the simple way for creating that shift. First, you will need to help your ideal clients realize that they are doing something wrong, right? Once you help them realize that, then you show them the implications of that mistake they are doing. After that, show them the benefits of what will happen when they fix that mistake. And then tell them what they need to do to fix that mistake. No matter what, your ideal clients are doing some kind of mistakes. That is why they are suffering from that challenges, struggles, and problems. And your job as a coach is to help them get out of that struggle, get out of that problem, realize their mistakes, and give them a better life, give them a better transformation, right? Help your ideal clients realize that they are doing something wrong, then show them the implications of that mistake, right? Show them the benefit of fixing that mistake and tell them what they need to fix that mistake, right? That's all. Okay. So there is no rocket science. This is the most of the content that you're going to post. This is not a framework. This is the soul of your content. That this is what you have to do inside your text form post, inside your reels, inside your YouTube videos, long form videos, inside your workshop, webinars, or inside your sales calls or DMs. You need to do this exact thing. You need to go through this exact thing. So this is the soul of content. Now, all the content frameworks that we are going to see in this module later on, but this is the soul of your content. This is exactly what the thing you need to do in every part of your content. That's where you're going to attract your ideal clients. If you skip this and follow a format, a content framework, like there is a hook, then there is a body, then there is a CTA. Generic or any kind of copywriting framework you can use. But if you miss this part, if you fail to do this thing, if you failed to make them realize what they are doing wrong, what are the implications, how will they benefit when they come out of that problem, and how to fix that mistake. If you don't give them this kind of a mindset shift or a perspective shift, then they are not going to attract towards your content and you. Okay, so keep this format into your mind. Whether you are creating any kind of a content framework, you have to remember this thing, that you need to do this thing in order to attract your ideal clients. Okay, with that said, I'll see you in the next lesson.